Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, just type 1. Rahim, you're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Elias Sunday. You're welcome. That means everybody can hear me loud and clear. So I want to especially welcome us all to the Realtors Forum today. It's a 2-part on tax that we are starting today. And I just want to encourage every one of us to go to all our communities, go to your community where you got the link from, and just screenshot your screen right now and tell everybody that we are live. Like I tell people, anything that impacts on your income, impact on your life. So it's about your life now. So go to your community, let them know that we are live. We are talking about tax. So that when you will not say that my money is just disappearing. So know the reason why your money is disappearing. Okay, so you're welcome. The numbers are increasing. We need to have everybody on board right now. This one is not the one that I want to go and watch replay. Take the pain. During replay, you can't ask questions. So take the pain to go through this session right now. Okay, very, very important. Take the pain to go through this session right now. Take the pain to go through this session right now. There's still space here. You can come and sit down. Okay, so let's go back to all our communities and let them know that you are live. Alaji Taufik, Uduwaye, you're welcome. Williams, Obiawa, you are welcome. Toshua, you're welcome. Who else? Just go to the chat room and type 1 so that I can see you, so I can welcome you. Who else do we have in the house? So in the next 2 minutes, Mr. Rodney, you're also welcome. Okay, the numbers has increased right now. Mr. Williams, you're welcome. God's time, how is Port Harcourt? God's time, Chike Okereke, you are welcome. Ayo, you are also welcome. Welcome on board. So while we are about to start, Mr. Pastor Prophet David Ola, you are welcome. You are welcome. So I just want to have, let me just do a background check. Let me do a background check on everybody. So we have some people live in the office here with me. Okay. However, for those of us that are online, what do you understand by this new tax act? That's they call it NTA 2025. NTA 2025. What do you understand? Just in one line, in one statement. What do you understand by the new tax act 2025? What do you understand? And what are your expectations? Okay, just type it out. Just type it out what you understand and what your expectations are. Just type it out. What are the things that you understand? Most of us we've been seeing Taiwo. That man is the face. Okay, Mr. Abel Okereke said that there is no escape in tax. Okay. So Mr. Taiwo Yedele, I think he has been the face of that tax. Anytime you just see the man, you just say, my 21st son on tax, right? So please get your questions ready. So Mr. Shola is the one taking note of this session. Me, I don't know anything about tax. I don't even your word me more USM. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting section. So what I just want to encourage everybody to do right now is to have your writing material and take note of your question. Please, we will not allow anybody to unmute. Okay, so what we will just do is that after the training section, type your questions out, okay, so that we can then take the questions. Type it out in the chat room. We'll make sure we go through the questions. And please note this is another caveat. there is possibility that we will not be able to take all your questions today. That's why this session is 2. So then today, 1 hour, the next week also 1 hour. I don't know whether we get that clearly. Okay, so today is 1 hour, next week too is 1 hour. So type your question, right? And we'll try as much as possible to talk about, because see, let me give us a little background. This tax law is about 400 and something pages. Even if you are reading a book of 400 and something pages, you can't finish reading it in 2 hours, not to talk of 1 hour with plus question and answer added. Okay, so it's not possible. So it's basically trying to compress what touches our income and basic knowledge and all of those things. So like we say, it's just like fundamentals. That's what we want to look at today. I hope we are all ready. Good to go.
Ready.
So the next voice you are going to be hearing is the voice of Mr. Shola.
Is it?
So I'm handing over to Mr. Shola, is the tax man, and he's the one that will be taking us. Yeah.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good morning, Americans. Briticos. Depending on where you are listening to us from throughout the globe. Because we know that in Lifepage, the partners, the all stakeholders, span across beyond the source of Nigeria. So you are welcome to this edition. It's no longer, can you hear me online, please? So it is no longer a new news. We all know that we'll be battling with this, a lot of disruptions, a lot of semantics, a lot of information, wrong, genuine, have been shared online. Everybody has been thrown into panic mode because of what? Because of tax. So I need us to, we as stakeholders in Lifepage, I need us to, not to entertain or not to be in that panic mode. The tax will always be tax. Wherever we are, in America, in Canada, in UK, tax is tax. And the last thing everybody want to listen to is tax. Nobody likes a tax man, and nobody want to pay tax. If you ask our people online in Canada, some of them will tell you that, their taxes, is too much, it's too on our side. So also in UK, so also in South Africa. So everybody, bear the brunt of tax. So I welcome you all once again. So I'd like to start with this, so I'll be able to, be on the same page. We are standing at the slide, please. My slide. So we are standing at the threshold of new economy reality. For the first time in decades, Nigeria has written not just its tax law, rewritten, it's been rewritten, its tax law, but the very rules, not just the tax law, but the very rules of responsibility. The 2025 Tax Act is not a reform. It is a recalibration of how individual businesses, professionals, all the stakeholders, be employee, the staff, the auditors, must operate, in a transparent and data-driven environment. So, as the slide is coming up, I'd like also slideshow. So I like to also, have this at the back of our mind. The new act has not introduced a new law. There's no new tax. There's no new tax introduced into this act. The reform committee came up with 4 different laws. The one that speak to the one that we call NTA, Nigerian Tax Act. The one that is Nigerian tax. The Nigerian speak to administration, NTTA. So there is the one that has to do with joint tax board. Joint tax board is to harmonize all the tax that we have, in Nigeria, to create a kind of uniformity from federal to state and to local government. So all the acts together, like I said, did not introduce new tax. All these tax that will be seen, or that the government kept throwing at us, or that we have been reading, there's none of them that is new. They've been in existence for long. It's just for for us, to the new act is just to harmonize the existing law. So there's none of them that is new. They've been there. But what we lack is enforcement. So enforcement has been the problem. So the committee that did the job, they actually removed some tax. They repealed some. If you look at our constitution, because there's so many things they cannot do without tampering with the constitution. If you look at our constitution in Nigeria, you find out that our constitution allow local governments to charge tax for wheelbarrow. I wouldn't know if you've seen them in your office. You see people coming to your office, knocking at your door. We are asking for radio tax. We want you to pay electricity tax. Electricity poll tax, kiosk, tax. So a lot of nuisance taxes. So the one we can relate with is over 60. The one we cannot relate with, we have over like 200. So that is why this this committee ensure to try as much as possible to come with what we can work with, what we can harmonize. Larry, next slide. So, as I was saying, we are not here to memorize any rule. We just want us to know, want to tell us this is the rule. This is what we are supposed to do. If you do this, there is going to be this. If you do not do the right thing, there is no point, fighting the government or, fighting the government or criticizing the government. So we are here to, look at what we can do. We don't need to memorize the rule. We want to understand the risk and recognize how to shift. We want to master the strategy so that we'll be able to know, okay, the compliance aspect. So for those who understand this tax, those who also stay at the side of compliance, this act will protect us, will also position us for growth. We understand that, it will also help us to be able to stay ahead. How do we make money? For example, now, as I will go to the end of this year, as we approach 2026, it is expected of us, to get better, especially as employees, as readers. Everybody want to, multiply and triple their incomes. How then you make the money, then you lose it to tax because of inability to do the right thing, to stay on the side of the compliance. So, I need us to know this. The law is law. The law is not sentimental. It's not going to be emotional. If you fail to do the right thing, we bear the brunt. If you fail to do the right thing, the millions, the billions that we make, we can lose, that billions into, to the hand of the government. Like, Larry. And so this is the enforceable act. I told us that we have four. Like Mr. Opel said at that time, that it's almost around 400 pages. So, but the one that speak to us most, they are these two. The Nigerian Tax Act, NTA, that told us, explain to us the type of tax that we should be paying, that we are likely to suffer, that we are likely to pay. The Nigerian Tax Administration, that speaks to how the tax will be administered. It gives us obligations to our obligations. It also, introduce fairness into it. It's also introduced, resolution guidelines into it. So it's also, if you are not comfortable with assessment given to us by the state inland revenue or federal inland revenue, so the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the NTAA, actually, gave us the how to go about that. Larry, please. So, what are the changes, the key changes? So we have itemized this, we try to put them into the one that is administrative in nature and the one that is legal in nature. Present now, that's going to terminate by the end of 31st December. The old rule, we call them that old rule. That is the current one that is running presently. There is consolidated revenue allowance. So that's what we usually use. We use 200, 200 plus 1% of gross income, or 20% of our gross income, whichever that is higher. So, but that's no longer in existence. It has been abolished. So, it is now being replaced with rent relief. So, we have, there is I'm still speaking to the personal income tax. So there has been a kind of relief, a kind of exception, especially for people at the bottom of the pyramid, those who are in the lower income earner. So it has been put at if your income is lesser of 800,000 naira per month. But in the calculation, it could, it's around for you to start having to pay more than what you are currently earning. It's going to be around 1.2 million. So this gives opportunity to people who are earning below 800,000 naira. So there's rent relief in the current law that we are using. That is not provided. What was provided, what we have in that law is CRA, consolidated revenue allowance. So, but now it's going to be fully implemented. The capital gain, for him, it's of two types. We have for individuals, we have for the corporate organization. So, for individuals, the whole rule is 10%. If you are an individual, so or you use business name, so business name is also being seen as as an individual. So then for those who lost employment, currently now it used to be 10 million, tax free, but there is relief now. It's 50 million, so it's been taken up to 15 million. So the tax residency. So this issue, of course, there is wherever you are in the world. So Nigeria reserve right to collect their tax. If you make money within Nigeria, or you have a business, you have anything giving you value in Nigeria, exchange of value and services, economic value in Nigeria is going to get their money. That is why it is written as worldwide income is tax. So the small company, in the past we have the classification of small company is starts from 25 million as turnover, but now it's been graduated to 100 million naira. If you have if your business is still around 100 million and below, plus 250 250 million worth of assets, so you are still categorized as small business. Your small business is your based on your turnover. Turnover, if your turnover less than 100 million, from 1 naira to 100 million, so you are qualified to be a category, to be in that category, plus your asset, if your asset is still below 250 million. Larry. So still on the small business, so we have this corporate CIT, corporate income tax, capital gain tax, development level. All those one have been the development level that replaced the tertiary educational tax, then police tax, the technology tax. Then so we have 4 different tax that was embedded into that development levy. So it is put at 4%. So the multiple taxes were categorized into one. That is why we have the development levy. Instead of paying those 4, we are no longer going to pay. Then there is another one that is minimum tax. You make profit, you do not make profit, it's a company with losses. Currently, you pay minimum tax. That's going to be against your against your revenue. But in this time around now, that's not going to be the case again. So the minimum effective tax rate, that is for bigger and larger company. So the VAT, we now have a lot of a lot of relief under the VAT. I think VAT seems to be the one that is enjoy a lot of relief. Before we used to have so many things, basic amenities, basic food, basic items from from all this food that we eat, agricultural products, medical items. We have a lot of them under the tax VAT except. But now they've been graduated to zero rated tax. For example, now let me explain. What we mean by zero rated tax. When you say that is your VAT is zeroized. For example, let me use as a school as an organization, like church, or let me use those who sell food. Let me look like bread. People who own bakery, they don't. Do we see big VAT? When we go to buy bread, do we see VAT placed on the bread? No. So we do not see that. But meanwhile, the VAT is being added to their cost before the transfer is to the final consumer. So the law accepts them. They are accepted from paying VAT, but they don't have opportunity to they don't have opportunity to recover the VAT they paid. The only thing they know how to do is to add the cost to the final consumer, add the cost to the cost of bread and transfer to the final consumer. But under this, when we say zero rated now, that VAT that they could, instead of adding that VAT on the cost, they have to collate all their VAT together. For example, they are going to pay VAT on the flour, on the oil, some other item that they use in producing the bread. So instead of now transferring to the final consumer, they would simply take that VAT element to the government within 1 month to get and to recover their tax, to recover their VAT that they've suffered. We call it that input VAT. So instead of you then transfer that to final consumer, you don't do that again. You will simply take that, that tax you suffer and take it to the government, to federal revenue or state internal revenue, as the case may be, if you are an individual or if you are operating under company structure, limited company structure, then you take it to federal internal revenue. So they do not need to transfer that cost again. So when people are saying that things are going to be expensive, so many things are being given, petrol, energy, solar, they are now under, they are part of the relief. They don't put VAT on them again anymore. So the transportation, shared transportation, so there is no VAT, there's no tax coming on that, all those items again. Your food, you buy food for Mama Put, or Mama Put go, those who are doing food, they go to market to purchase all that, whatever they need to do. All those basic items, they do not suffer tax again. No VAT will be put on them, except we as Nigerians just want to create artificial scarcity or artificial increase. So everything that will make us, to have higher tax in whatever we, in our business, basic items will be taken off. So, Larry. So, part of changes under the under the administrative, changes compliance. So I need to run us through the one that is legal, the one that is administrative inclined. So the filing. So filing is now digital. It's now fully digital. In the past, it used to be a combination of manual and digital mix. You can go to tax office A, they will do it for you, or you can sit down in your office and do it digitally. You go to tax office A, B, they say until you bring all your documentation. But now it's now fully digital. So you can also get your tax clearance. You can get your tax clearance, it's automated. As soon as you have done your filing, as soon as you don't have any obligation, any exposure, to inland, federal inland revenue, or as the case may be, or state internal revenue, you are expected to get your tax clearance online. So as we usually have week, week monitoring, but now there's going to be strong enforcement and employee verification. Everything can be done on their portal. So now, the small business and individuals. So I know some of us belong to, some of our people, the staff, the retailers. I think some of us have business, probably only few people, probably they have their turnover that is above 100 million or asset worth of 251 million. So everybody, either you are accepted, either you qualify to pay tax, or is zero tax you are paying. Everybody is expected to file annual returns, to file, need returns. If you are accepted, you don't have to pay. You don't pay tax, but it is an obligation on us to pay. To file to the appropriate authority at the end of the year. So now, like never before, the bank now, the banks, the financial institution now has opportunity to see what is going on in our bank accounts, or the inflows and outflows. So they also have a way of reporting unusual inflows. I think that is the part of the the rhetoric that people keep spreading, that any money that enters your account is going to be debited. No, it's not going to be debited. It's not going to be debited. Where, according to the law, where the law allows them that if they have this, you've not been doing your filing, and they have this unusual inflows, they are not going to be chasing people with 100,000 naira, 200,000 naira. So when somebody say unusual inflow and they be seeing consistent inflows, and you do not do the right thing, you don't play with the compliance, you do not do any filing, any reporting, they will first send mail to you. You get explain this and this. Should you fail to then go and meet them or to respond to them, they have liberty to debit or to freeze your accounts. So that is not new. It's been there before. So they only just try to try the enforcement to improve on the enforcement. It has not only you in particular. If you are a company, you have a director. In a company you can have different directors that are segregated to their accounts. So the account of the company will not be the only one. The account of the director can also be affected. So also the company secretary. So that's why it's just for us to start doing the needful, to start doing the right thing. Let government play their role. Individuals also, play their own roles too. Hello, can this hear me online? So, there's another one that is everybody starts looking for joint tax but ID. So the tax ID. So the tax ID, for example, now if you want to get your ID, you go to Lagos. If you are in Lagos, because the Lagos State Internal Revenue their platform is fully digital. It's been digitalized. I can't compare that to other states outside Lagos. But in Lagos, if you go to their portal, you need a ID. It's going to ask you for your NIN. It's going to ask you for your full name, your phone number. You can get it within. I'm very sure if you go there today, you reside in Lagos. I'm very sure you will have gotten. You will even have your payer ID. It's just for you to activate it. They bring it to you. Like I was doing for somebody recently. As we were doing it, immediately they just you already have payer ID, and they generated, and I gave to the lady. So they are the one that will harmonize. But if you are a company, what you need is tax identification thing. If you are an individual, you reside in Lagos or wherever you are, is internal revenue service ID that you are supposed to get. The joint tax ID. I know some people have been getting it, but I don't know how that will work. Start by January 2026, because we don't want a situation whereby you go to your revenue, say you go to Ogun State, you go to Lagos State Internal Revenue, and they tell you that we can't accept that. So it's better you start with the one you have. The one, if you don't have anyone, especially if you reside in Lagos, get the tax ID, payer ID from Lagos State Internal Revenue. When the time comes for harmonization, they know how to harmonize everything for you. So if you have one, you are safe, you are secured. So for a company too, company also need to get get a tax identification number. Sorry. So yeah, this withholding tax, credits, this has now, they put a lot of digitalization into this. So a lot of so depend on the qualify for. For us, this one will speak to the REITers most. As a REITer, you get your commission. Your commission, if you are an individual, you use your name to do the transaction. Your commission stands at the withholding tax. Your commission stands at 5%. So you are supposed to produce your payer ID, your tax ID. So if you run with the name your individual name or a business name, your withholding tax on your commission, for example, if your commission is 5 million naira, that means 5% of it is supposed to be like 250,000 naira. So you are supposed to have, to send your tax ID to the customer experience unit. You forward it to the account department, and the account department are supposed to remit your tax, your withholding tax appropriately. So if you are expecting 250,000 naira as a withholding tax credit, and you do not get up to that, for example, now if you are in Lagos State and you have your payer ID with Lagos State, by the time the Lifepage remit that your 250,000 naira, Lagos State now revenue will alert you. They will let you know. So if it's not accurate, you then come to the company and ask them, you have deducted 250,000 naira on my commission of 5 million. How come I'm now seeing 200,000 naira? So that is, it's digitalized, and you are going to see it. It's like a read time. So, I just want to, because of our time. So, as employees, there are some red flags that we need to avoid as a corporate organization, as an individual, as realtors. There are some red flags. There are some things we don't do. If we do it, there are penalties for it. If we are on this call, we are employers, and we do not pay, but we do not remit. In everything we do in tax, there is a giver, there is a receiver. So they might get to know all your transactions through your employee. So we need to do all the remittances. You deduct, you remit. And your remittances must not, if it is payee, by the 10th of the following month. So you should have remitted them to the appropriate revenue agency. So unexplained inflows into personal accounts. For example, some of us do a lot of inflows. Somebody send you money, want to build house on his behalf, everything, you get it in your personal account, no details, no narration. To the revenue agency, in their eye, all the inflow belongs to you, except that could even be part of why they will have to call you to come and explain. And you have to justify it with tenable reasons and documentations. So we want to, the staff, ensure you keep your pay slips. Ensure that you also keep your, have a file for your pay slip, for your bank statement, your pension proof. And some people also do, side hustle. So maybe online, offline, all those things. Now everything except of course, you are going to collect your employee or whatever, your whatever consideration you are going to collect them through your bank account. So you can't say because I've paid my tax as an employee, the one that is side hustle, you neglect it. You are going to pay and pay properly at the right time when the time comes. So no annual returns record. Okay. So for business, we must file all our monthly returns. Either you are accepted, you are enjoying relief. If you don't make any sales, or you don't make any, you don't need to make profit, but they must comply. Put it there, For example, now, okay, oh, you must file need. On file returns, even file, the first month you pay. That's the first month. The second month is going to be 25,000 naira. I mean, 50,000 naira. The second month is going to be 25,000 naira. By the time you count 25,000 naira, you count 50,000 naira, multiply them in a year, it has become, bigger. And at the end of the day, the authority will still, they put their interest on it according to CBN rate that is prevailing at that point in time. So there's penalty for everything if you don't do it. So the pay deducted must not, they pay deducted but not remitted. So that also has a penalty. So let's ensure that we remit all our pay. Then that invoice, I want to speak to this invoice is the invoice. Some of us we could not, when we say invoice, we believe that invoice is like, some of us believe invoice is also a receipt. Receipt is different from an invoice. So receipts will only show you evidence of payment, but invoice will give you detailed, information about what you are buying. What you have bought, the price, the quantity. So the invoice will reveal more detail than the receipts. So that doesn't say that you should neglect you should not collect your receipt. So invoice matter for you to claim some items that some taxes that are claimable. You must produce documentation. The document you are supposed to put. Invoice play a critical role. It's one of the by fault information that you cannot, but must ensure that you get. So so in that act, there are a lot of penalties. So failure to file annual returns, 50,000 naira, then monthly, subsequent month, 25,000 naira, unexplained inflow into your personal accounts, is going to be taxed, plus penalty and interest when you are caught. So undeclared so that best of judgment is to put you, to force you to come and attend to them, bring everything that you can use to defend yourself. So there is in the part of law there's criminal charge. Also there is also a prison charge. So failure to also file CIT, company income tax, VAT, withholding tax, and co. You see the same thing. If you don't remit your VAT, you remit the VAT in full, then 10% penalty plus interest. You don't remit your withholding tax, you remit that withholding tax in full, 10% penalty plus interest will be placed on it. Your payee, you don't remit it as the tax, you will remit the tax that is due, plus penalty, plus interest, and possible account, freeze. They are at liberty to also determine when to freeze the account. Fake invoices, no documentation. For example, let me speak to this invoice again. Your invoices must be tenable and must be presentable and tenable before before the statutory agency. Your invoice must have, a company name, correct address, correct phone contacts. So your TIN number must also be placed on it. So it's not in the past, you can just go to anywhere. You can even sit down in our office and create invoice and say, oh, let me send this invoice to account department. At least because somebody could not produce an invoice. Let me just generate one and use that for my transaction. So we are no longer. The authority is no longer they will not accept that again. That is why they intentionally put fake invoice here. Hello.
It's blocking.
You are blocking my view. So, and I also need to speak to this, there are some of us that belong to the informal sector. So the informal sector is just what you need to do is just to formalize your business. Register your business. That gives a kind of organization to your transaction, to your, to you as a person, to people, to give you credibility in the face of those who will be giving you businesses. Because going forward, I don't think some company will be dealing with those who are not structured. So I know that, for example now, in that same act, there is a business with an organization who is not registered. An organization who is not registered with, not only you might have registered with Corporate Affairs Commission, registered with Federal Inland Revenue. You don't have a team. The penalty, the administrative penalty is 5 million naira. Then imagine if you have done that, if you have like 3 or 4 contractors that you are dealing with, especially those who play in real estate sector. You have like 4, 5, 6, 7 contractors building, creating products for you. And you do not have, there are a lot of transactions, a lot of contracts in real estate ecosystem. And these people are not registered with, with the statutory agency. You then pay 5 million naira on number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Then imagine how much is then the profit. So meanwhile, they've not even done the assessment to know what you have made, for what you have produced, your revenue, what your expenses you have suffered, what is claimable, what is deductible, then to know if you have made profit or loss. Larry, go. Move on. Still move on. Because of my time. Can we say hear me? Move on. Move on. Yes. No, for everybody that is in a paid employment, that is on the salary scale. If we look at this table, you see the current one. Under that, everybody pay tax, even though there has been in the law that if you are under minimum wage, you don't pay tax. But people, you still find out that the authorities still keep demanding for that. But in the new one, if your annual salary is 800,000 naira monthly, annually, you don't pay tax. This 800,000 naira, some of us will say, if a minimum wage is above, multiplied by 12, 70,000 multiplied by 12 is 840, it's above 800. This one we are saying is, if your salary, for example, now say your salary is 1.2 million annually, after removing all the relief, the rent relief, the pension, the life assurance, and all other reliefs, if you remove them, and you are still within the range of the taxable, then you then have taxable or chargeable income. So if that chargeable or taxable income is now 800,000 naira, you do not pay any tax on it. So when I was talking the other time, that it's actually categorized people are the bottom, people who earn lower. So if your salary is now around, or for example, for people who earn from 801,000 naira to around 1.7, 1.8 million monthly, you are supposed to have a reduced tax. By the time we do the simulation, you see a reduced tax from your earning. So this is not increasing your salary. That is why it is progressive in nature. So the high net worth individual, they are the one that will pay more. Those who do not, who are not in that class, will not pay more. So this is a simulation that we did. In this simulation, you can see the annual gross, 1 million naira. In the current law, your annual tax is going to be 44,760 naira. But in the current one we are going to start with in 2026, it's going to be 0. That means you have a savings. If you, number 2, you look at the simulation. If you are around 5 million as gross salary annually, in the current tax, the one that's going to be outdated, you are going to pay 603 million naira. Thousand naira. But in the current regime, the new act, you're going to pay 559.5. So you still have a tax savings of 43,700 naira. So you look at that 10,000 naira, you still end up having a savings of 97,000. If you are under 15 million per annum, you still have a savings of 114,000 naira annually. If your annual salary is 20 million naira, you are expected to have savings. But if you are under 25 million, for example, your annual salary is 25 million, that is where you have an increase. You're expected to have an increase in your tax. So people from bottom to the middle, or below middle class, they are expected to have savings in their tax. Okay, go move on. So for everyone doing business online, or let me say other items that have been added, to income generation aid, apart from the what we used to have in the existing framework. So the honorarium, that is honorarium, grants, award, laurel prizes, lotteries, the discount, rebates, disposal of money or instruments. So all virtual assets, cryptocurrency, the digital token. So
by everybody.
Yes, of course, the cryptocurrency that is actually in the law currently, just like it's not being enforced. It's not new. It's not new. So people working online, people doing business online, or people doing remote work online. You are in Nigeria, you work with somebody in America, and people in Nigeria. Can you please mute the person?
That's me talk.
So people who are in a paid employment, who do their normal work, inside brick and mortar, they are the one paying tax. The people who do business, who make money online, that are even better than the people in the paid employment, they do not pay tax, even though the law has been there. The time is now just to enforce, so it's not newly reintroduced. It's been for those who are familiar with financial arts. We've been having financial art 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023, but all that has not solved the problem. So the law needs to be taken, repealed and improved upon. That's why they've done this. That's it, something.
Because of time, should we stop it?
So the what's it called here? So,
Should I?
go for it.
Okay, good. Well done, everyone. So we are going to take question and pause here because of time. It's already 12:58 p.m. already. So we have done tax 101. I bring out a sheet of paper and come and write test. So let's look at question. Let's look at the chat. Yes. So do you have questions? So please question. You want to ask question? Okay, while we are sorting out question online, there's someone in-house that will ask question. Take the mic and ask a question. Make it short and straight to the point.
Yes, sir. So my question is, you mentioned earlier that for people that are working online, probably you're working remotely with someone that is like in America or something, right? Okay, what of in a case whereby you're not working, probably you have an uncle that sends you maybe pocket money or something big in, or somebody that, are you supposed we still pay tax like on like that money that is coming in? You're not working now, it's not it's just like, okay, take care of yourself, and it's consistent. Yes, it's a consistent monthly. So that's my question.
Thank you. That is an excellent question. The question is, if you have someone sending you money to take care of your health
From the
abroad, so you do not pay tax on gifts. However, the authority does not want us to always plan, around, can do our tax planning around the gift. Every money you have, you say it's a gift. So they don't want that. But that gift, because it is expected that whoever that is sending you money will have suffered tax, will have paid tax already. So they don't tax you, twice. But anybody that is sending you money, let the narration be well detailed. So when donation is donation, but we must be sure that donation is not something that is in exchange of value or services that you render. So that you don't, if it is something in exchange of value or services. So the tax authority will, now Nigeria now has a tax code with other countries, where with Nigeria has treaty, that's what we call tax treaty, tax agreement, with about 15 countries. UK, America is not there, USA is not there, UK, Canada, Romania, Pakistan, Netherlands, France, like 15 of them. So we have treaty with them, we have agreement with them, so to avoid all this double taxation. So let it be detailed. Anybody giving you money, let them at least be able to. Then you also will be able to justify it when the time comes, when they ask you. Yeah? So under that slide, maybe we'll take that next week. I still have some things under that slide, practical, so that we'll see it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on first. Let's take another one online. So we'll be so there is someone. When I take am easy, this question is coming. So there is I think Mr. Festus' own is not a question, is a comment. He said PID has been harmonized by Joint Tax Board, whether you are in Lagos or Ogun State, anywhere in Nigeria may not be relevant. Kindly go to JTB website for your tax identification number and your certificate. Thank you very much for.
Thank you, Mr. Festus Adeoye.
Adeoye, thank you.
So,
Adeboye.
Adeboye.
Okay. So
thank you.
Mr. Madam Ibitola, the recording is already available. So you just go to our YouTube channel, then you'll be able to get the recording. Please, okay, how will tax be paid? Will it be monthly or annually?
Now, I don't know the type of tax you are talking about. If you are talking about personal income tax for individual or business name, so the individual, if you are in a pay them, you are a staff, and your company is expected to remit your tax, your pay as you earn, on or before 10th of the following month. So if you are a retail and you have been charged with all the tax, so as soon as you make a sale and commission is made, tax is charged, it is expected of the company to remit your tax within a month and give you evidence of your tax credit. Then annually, as an individual, if you are an employee, your company will do annual returns. That is on or before 31st of January every year. So your company is expected to do that. But if you are an individual, you have a business, you run your own business as belonging to informal sector. So your own is under direct assessment on or before 31st of March, you are supposed to do the annual returns. So for the corporate organization too, for the company by your VAT, you are supposed to do monthly returns on your VAT, monthly returns on your withholding tax. Annual, then you do annual returns, mostly by on or before the end of June, 30th of June of the following month. Thank you.
Okay. The next question here is from Ogunleye, Mr. Ogunleye. Say, please, what can one do when one has registered a company for 2 to 3 years, but the company has not commenced operation since the time of registration without filing till today? So please, let's pause on the question so that we can round up today. So we'll continue question next week. Yes, answer.
So if you have registered a business and the business you've not been using the business you're using the company to run the business, the question there is, have you registered with Federal Inland Revenue? You have a team. No, you are expected to have registered at least 6 months. You have a grace within 6 months to register with Federal Inland Revenue. Not doing business is not an excuse. You are expected to have been doing need filing. You file, but you tell them why you are filing. Tell them that you put 0 there. It's a way to tell them that I've not started business. So I've not started any business. I've not done any business. Then probably too, maybe you have not even opened any account with it. But it's better you do the filing, because before it becomes what you cannot control or what could impact on your.
Please mute your mic. We do not allow people to unmute to ask questions. Please, you type your question. So while we are sorting
Okay,
out questions online, Ansel, do you still have questions? Okay.
You spoke about
Just continue because of time.
you spoke about different countries having tax codes in Nigeria. So I want to ask now, for every country now that importation comes through, like example China, US, France, and Netherlands, where importation comes in, does it affect the custom rate, that is the price of imported goods from there? Since the tax, since that sharing, they need to come to like general agreement in each country.
You know, for example, okay, let me talk about the codes that I mentioned the other time. That code that I mentioned is just to share information. So the Federal Inland Revenue now is going to be, the name is going to be Nigerian Revenue Service. So they have that liberty to contact any foreign country because they share information, they share data. So that's what that code does. So to your question about maybe importation, that importation as that is going to is it going to increase the tax?
Is it going to increase
Tax.
the price of importation?
Price of importation.
Yes.
I don't think that is going to increase the price of importation. I don't think that's going to.
I don't think it's going to affect. Okay, sir. There's a question here from Mr. James. Mr. James is saying that, is there any changes to the withholding tax percentage currently being paid on commission? I think there's another commission question. Maybe you answer that one
So
first.
withholding tax, there is a withholding tax law that was passed in 2024. That is what is in operation. So it's still 5% if you are an individual on commission. It's still 5%. But if you now run, you are using your company, you are doing like B2B. So it's going to be 10%. So Mr. James, your commission is going to be still, as far as law is concerned, as of today, it's still going to be 5%.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me just use the opportunity to announce. So please, for anybody that is a realtor with Lifepage, your tax identification number, right, or tax ID, you need to send it to us, okay? Because from next year, both me and you, we are committing offense if we don't send. So everybody must pay tax, right? So very, very important. So there's a question from Victoria. Please, Larry, please. The question has jumped up. So Mr. John, your question has been answered. Mr. John Daniel say, what's the minimum taxable income? It has been 800,000 now. We've answered that, so I won't come back to that question. I'm right now. It's 800,000. That's that one has been answered. Probably you didn't join us from the beginning, so just go and watch the replay. So Madam Victoria is asking, if an individual earn commission as a realtor and I have tax ID number, usually the commission would be taxed would have been taxed before the commission is received. Does it mean that the company has to remit the tax deducted from my money? Do I still need to pay withholding? Perfect question. After the company has deducted.
Let me say this: a withholding tax, is a tax that you pay in advance. So if you have done, or if you have income coming in, you are making income from different sources. Say you have like three different sources, stream of income. So this withholding tax is part of your, if they assess you or you assess yourself, if you know how to do the tax arrangement well, is you are going to use this withholding tax to reduce the tax exposure that you have. For example, now you are supposed to pay the revenue, the agency, you are supposed to pay them like 1 million, but you already have like 250,000 naira worth of withholding tax credit. It's now for you to now first remove that 250. So the balance of 750, that's what you are going to remit to them. But you must have the evidence of that withholding tax. So withholding tax is it's a tax paid in advance. So then the company will deduct after they deduct. The only thing you are going to get, upon receiving upon making say you get your commission, then the company then go ahead to remit your withholding tax to the appropriate agency based on your payer ID, because without your ID, tax ID, the company will not be able to remit it. The tax ID represents you in the face of the law. So the company will use that to remit your tax. Then they will get back. They will call you. They will find a way to send the evidences to you appropriately.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Sampson, would there be report of monthly basis if someone is paying tax? See, these people have access to your accounts. They know everything about you, BVN, tax ID, NIN. They link everything together. So the most important thing, just pay your tax, whether they will know or not. You don't want to find out. So that's where we are going to stop.
If as I wrap up, if you for example now, the Lagos state, I know the Ogun state, they are coming up, other state, they are as part of what they are working on. So if you go to Lagos state platform, if you put in all your details, it will give you all the history of your tax. So if they alert you or they don't alert you, but if company has remitted, you will see your account. You see your account on their platform.
Yeah.
So thank you, and thank you to our CEO, the one and only OC, Mr. Oladepo Clement. Thank you for the privilege and the opportunity, and the directors, Mr. Okwe, helping my,
So let's celebrate Mr. Shola. Thank you very much, sir. So because of our time, let's just quickly take the following announcements. Yes, we can don't worry, keep celebrating him, keep celebrating. Let's just take this following announcement as we round up today. So we are going to continue next week. So please let's join on time next week so that we can get all the information that we need to get and all of those things. So please, and let your question to come on time. There's no way these 2 weeks will be enough to touch on everything concerning tax. So there's no way these 2 weeks will be enough. So what I want to just suggest is that any question or concern that you have, just make sure that you ask those questions, okay? So that even if there's an area that we are supposed to touch that we could not touch, your question will allow us to be able to touch on them. So let's listen to the following. And number one is that we are still in our year of speed and momentum. However, 2026 has been tagged as our year of leverage. Okay, so in 2026 we are going to be leveraging. Are we together on that? Okay, that is what 2026 is going to be all about. So for those that are joining us for the very first time, I just want you to go to the chat room and type new. If you are joining us, this is the first time you are joining us during our Realtors Forum on a Thursday. Probably you have joined some of our previous program before, but this is the first time you are joining us on the Thursday. Just go there and type new. And so every Thursday like this, we have what we call the Realtors Forum. We educate, we empower, and all of that. Okay, so that's what we do every Thursday. We preview, we review, and we empower. So we put this together to help. We put this together to actually help all our realtors so that there will not be a tax liability. There will be a tax asset to government, right? So please let's take note of that. So we'll continue this series next week Thursday by 12 noon. Please let's join on time. We will not do any introduction because we still have a lot that we need to cover, okay? And the first Thursday, the next time we are meeting is going to be the first Thursday in December, which is 6th of December, and we are going to be having, which is also our special Realtors Forum. So I want to encourage as many people as possible to come to the office so that we can enjoy the live section, and also your question can be attended to live and direct. Okay, please, very, very important. Let's note all of that. And I also want to let us know that we have merged all our communities into 3. Okay, so we have community 1, community 2, community 3, right? That's Lifepage partner 1, Lifepage partner 2, Lifepage partner 3, and each of those community has a community manager. So please, let's take advantage of them. Chat them up, ask them for flyer, ask them questions, they will guide you, right? And if there are any help that is needed to, they will escalate it, or complaint, they will escalate it to the office. Okay, then so there's a special Realtors Connect, right, that is coming up, okay, specifically focused on fractional ownership, right? There's a special Realtors forum that is Realtors Connect, actually, that is coming up. So the flyers are going to be shared in all our community. So let's bring in as many people as possible. This is an opportunity for you to expand your income possibilities in 2026 rather. So, and the best time to prepare for it is now. Okay, you don't wait to enter into 2026 and start preparing for it. Okay, so we are going to be sharing all the details with us. Then finally, because of our time today, our gratitude party, which is going to be the last Realtors Forum for the year, right, is going to be happening on the 18th of December, live and direct in the office. Okay, so gratitude party is going to be happening live and direct on the 18th of December. That's the last Thursday, last Thursday before Christmas. So 18th is a Thursday, and Christmas, of course, is the following week. Then we resume back in January. Okay, so then on that day, we are going to be rolling out the calendar for the year on the 18th. Even if you can't join us physically, please join us online. Very, very important. There are so many things that we are going to be announcing, because this Realtors Forum right now is going to be taking a new format, all right, from next year, and we are going to be announcing it. So a lot of massive things are coming up. Okay, so for those of us that are asking online, I can see a lot of people asking. For those that are new, you are welcome. I don't know how you join us that you are new, but you are welcome. Probably from the RMP, okay, the last quarter of the RMP, you are welcome. Okay, so for those that are asking how can they join us, our office is at number 21 Alake Onilere Crescent, Bagada, Phase 2. And also, I want you to take note of this. Our official numbers are 09060005747 or 09060005737. Either of these two numbers are official numbers, so you can chat them up. You have any complaints, you have anything, just chat those numbers up. Okay, so next week Thursday, I want to see as many of us. I want this all to be filled to the brim, as we are going to be discussing tax and also be celebrating everybody that is born and having their wedding anniversary in the month of December. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Let's have a great and wonderful afternoon.